Dear class of 2020, in light of everything going on, I realize that you might not be getting the opportunity to walk across the stage for your diploma or to listen to a special guest on the podium. But I hope you find solace in knowing that we are all cheering you on virtually. Congratulations. I wanted to share a few words via this couch commencement speech that will hopefully encourage you as you walk into what we like to call the wonderful world of adulting. And before I get into that, you're probably wondering, who is this person? My name is Yari Blanco, and I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Grown Up, a brand that is dedicated to bridging the communication gap across cultures for women of color. I've also been in media for over 12 years and have mostly worked in the field of multicultural, really focusing on the Black, Latinx, and LGBTQ plus communities. I graduated in 2008, and when I was thinking about what I can talk about in the commencement speech, the word that kept coming to mind was uncertainty. And when I graduated in 2008, the economy had really just gone to, pardon my French, shit. And it was a really, really uncertain time. You know, I had just finished doing 4 years studying public relations with a minor in fashion merchandising, and I really didn't know where that was going to take me next. So when I graduated, even though I didn't get immediately the dream job that I wanted to, which was a fashion editor, I took a job at the Harlem YMCA at an after-school program. And I started to pay attention to the things that were missing from the program or that I thought would enhance the program. And one of those things that I noticed was that the sixth graders would come into the program and they would oftentimes be upset or in a bad mood. And so I pitched this idea of a class called Lights, Camera, Action to get the students to write short stories about themselves, and then they would cast it amongst themselves. And through those stories, I got to learn more about what was happening at home and why they might have been upset during that day. And so I noticed that when they left the class, they were in a much better mood. And the reason that I got that idea, outside of just noticing that something was missing from the program, was that my senior year I took a screenwriting class that I really, really loved. That's just an idea of how you can apply something that you might have been taking in school during these last 4 years that don't necessarily apply to your immediate major or your degree, but that can super serve the place that you might be working. I started to be successful, and so then I once again started to pay attention, how else can I enhance this program? And the reason that I was doing this was not just because I wanted to enhance the program, which was number one, but two, because I wanted to keep pitching myself to my boss and show initiative so that I could get a little bit of a raise bump. And I call this the New York hustle, that thing that lives within you. If you grew up in New York, you know what I'm talking about. By the time I stopped working there, I had gone from being paid at the beginning $8 to almost $15, and I went from being someone that helped with the after-school program to actually running a specific school's after-school program. So again, I think that just speaks to the hunger of being someone that had just graduated college, was living back at home, and knew that I needed to make some money, but also do something that made me feel fulfilled. So while I was still working at the Harlem YMCA, I hadn't forgotten about my dream of working for some major fashion magazine. I really wanted to be a fashion editor. But I knew that at the moment that wasn't going to be a reality, and you got to start somewhere. And so I kept going to networking events. I made sure that people started to learn my name and that I was available to do any freelance work. I very, very gratefully had somebody do a bomb-ass resume for me, and they ended up introducing me to somebody that worked for People in Español magazine. Now, the job was as an assistant to the person who led all the advertisements for pharmaceuticals, and while that was something that I was absolutely not interested in, I knew that this would get my career kicked off. And so I took the job when they offered it to me. And one of the things that I have always done in my career at any company that I've been at is try to learn as much as possible from different departments. And so I befriended the person who had gotten me that initial interview, who was actually in the marketing department, and she taught me how to do marketing decks. She taught me how to do a presentation, and that really was able to take me into the next job that I got, followed into the next job that I got, into the next job. And so I say all this to say that, you know, when life gives you lemons, you got to make some lemonade. So I want to wrap this up by saying that in this moment, things may seem bleak, But remember that whether you were born and raised in New York City or came here just for school, New York City teaches us all how to hustle and how to make moves. And when the front door closes in your face, remember that the back window is probably open and you could get through there. So please check in with yourselves, be kind to yourself, and tap into that spirit of the New York hustle that you carry with you. All you need is to pay attention and see how you can fill any missing gaps. Congrats.